with love season upon us, it got me thinking about Andrew and I's love. We get asked by friends and family how we do it, so here it is. Let's take it back a bit so you guys can get a fuller picture of what our relationship is like.
So we met at UCF because we both went to UCF for college. I guess that's pretty obvious there. We met during like a dance competition because I was in a fraternity and Celeste was in a sorority. Kind of shocking. If you knew us back then, maybe not, but that's life. So there was a dance competition where, our fraternity and sorority got paired up. And I really don't like dancing.
No,
that was like the most out of my comfort zone thing I had possibly done in my entire life leading up to that.
But we got paired up, which was like pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing stemmed from it. I think it was freshman year. So we knew each other. We were always acquaintances. Saw him around at the bars. I ended up dating somebody else, though, during that time. And then He continued on his way. I honestly didn't think he liked me at first, but I was like, he was just quiet. Yeah, so when that breakup happened with my other relationship, I remember a specific moment when I was, just studying by the library, and Andrew came over, and he knew I was sad from the breakup, and he just gave me some headphones to listen to a band we both appreciate, Tame Impala. And, it's just like those little moments you look back on, you're like, wow, like now we're here. But just that little act of kindness.
Mm-hmm. Like didn't seem that significant in the moment, but now it's like.
And then our first date.
Yeah, first date. So leading up to our first date, it was Celeste's birthday one night. And she was like going out to the bars as girls in sororities do.
I forgot about this.
And like they have like a sign where they have like a list of things they have to do, which is always like not the greatest list, know. So like one of the things was like kiss a bartender. So like we kissed that night, and I don't think it was the next night, was it? So it was sometime shortly after that though, where we did go on our first date, and we went to like a bagel shop, like kind of in the morning, afternoon sort of thing, like mid-morning sort of thing. And, we had a good time, talked pretty normal. And, like, then I was driving us back to UCF to, like, drop her off. And I played this, like, pretty obscure song. It's called Devotion by Distractor. It's a really, I guess, generally I'd say a weird song. But Celeste, like, was like, oh, nice. And I was like, whoa, like, that's kind of cool that she actually likes this song. Because I thought it was a pretty out there move to even play that song anyway. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So speaking this out loud, our bass line, or our bass was just having a lot in common with music, I think.
Yeah.
That's like a big...
huge thing for us.
Yeah, that's a huge
thing for us.
But yeah, then we just started dating, and things were really rocky. They were great in the beginning. And then, since we're in college, there's a lot of alcohol involved. And he worked at a bar. I was still in a sorority. And as you can guess, alcohol mixed with all of that, it's just not a good
just a
mixture.
Dramatic mixture. We each had our moments where like we probably could have let the other one go.
Yes.
In a sense, but we each at different times too, like we each like pushed through that for whatever reason.
I know. Yeah. That's what we were talking about leading up to this video, like many days ago, a few days ago. Sorry, this plane going by. Why we decided to stay with each other, even though it was so dramatic in the beginning. Yeah. Like he said, we could have both gone our own ways. But I think there's just a deeper knowing in the back of our minds that we had this goal and we wanted to grow, and just a few things were like still holding us back.
Yeah.
I think it was just a deep knowing, and thank God we followed our hearts or whatever it is for that, because here we are now. But I think what really helped our relationship was just COVID was great personally for personal development, but also like relationship wise, we both were just growing at like an exponential rate, reading all of these beautiful self-help books, spiritual books, and kind of, since we were locked down, we weren't drinking as much, or it was contained, and so we were only with each other if we were to ever drink. So I think that had a really positive impact on our relationship.
because like during that time we were both making that decision to like better ourselves like mentally and like not drink and just like do positive things for our life trajectory, I guess you could put it. It made it that much easier for us to like, you know, really grow together because we were both trying to take a similar path in that sense. You know, we're both trying to grow, so that's good. And it could have been the other way and then things might have ended, but that's why COVID was so great, because it really solidified things for us and taught us that we could just spend all of the time that we spend together like how we do now.
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a little bit more on our backstory. I don't think we've ever said that on our channel. So there you go. I want to move to another segment now, and it's on clues to how we knew we were a match, or no. Knew and know.
No. One of the biggest ones really is that we have this interesting ability to like feel alone even when we're together. And, you know, to expand on that, like the van is very tiny, but there are times where we can just be sitting next to each other but still feel like we have our space, you know, whether it's reading a book or, you know, I'm, you know, journaling, Celeste is like watching something or vice versa. Just moments like that where, you know, we're not in each other's mental space, and that's enough space for us.
Yeah, which I don't know if that's the case for everybody. We've heard from other people that that is not the case. And it's really big for both of us because we like to be alone. And so then when we're together, we feel like we're alone.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but...
Yeah. But like I said, mental space. We don't need the physical distance to have our space.
We're both very relaxed people.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like to think deeply and have very like philosophical talks. And that's almost very, I don't want to say romantic, but like that's what makes me like fall more in love, being able to like not be like shallow together.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. Like being able to have like conversations about like death, or like, I mean, I was gonna say or what happens after we die, but that's also just death, or just expand on different, like Celeste said, philosophical questions.
That's how I knew you were also the one that we can talk about death and it'd be like,
yeah, it's not like, oh. So also we really just support each other with everything. A lot of people, I think, talk about that, and it is important, obviously, and it's something that with each of us, it's come really naturally to just support each other and lean on each other with things. Like I can vent to Celeste, she can vent to me. We can have like a really open communication about how we're feeling about something, you know, whether it's like me with work, her with work, or like things we're doing creatively, or just anything really. For example, like right now, like obviously I'm working and Celeste is like doing all this stuff with YouTube and things like that. And people are like, oh, why isn't she working? I'm like, because that's pretty much like a full-time job. And realistically, like I'm making enough for us to get by right now. And that's...
You're gonna make me cry.
Yeah, but that's like, that's what's important, you know? It's not like I'm there for her and...
Think I'll cry.
Yeah, and like I'm there for her, and like she knows that I love her, and even if she feels like, even if she's not judged by other people, she still feels it. But like I'm there for her, and that's, you know, what matters.
Love you.
Love you too.
Yeah, it lets me be creative. I love it.
Yeah. Like
don't let me in that corporate machine.
Yeah, no, see, and that's another thing. Like you just gotta know your person, and like I know that like really destroys Celeste internally. Like it destroys all of us.
Yeah.
But for Celeste, a lot, it really hits her hard, and it's something that like I don't have a problem dealing with. So
Thanks.
It's just like whatever, you know. You're welcome.
Well, then I guess that can lead us to how Andrew's very grounding. He's a Capricorn, if anyone wanted to know, and I'm an Aquarius, so I'm very...
I gotta drag her down.
in my head sometimes, or just in a whole other world, so I think we just really balance each other out that way.
For sure, because there are times where like I'm like stuck on something, and Celeste will be like, oh, or like we could just do this, and I'm like, oh, we can just do that. Because I'll be like so hard-headed and trying to like do something one way.
Or I'll get anxiety about some random social interaction, and Andrew's cool as a cucumber. So that, just super helpful. in that sense. Find yourself somebody that can help balance you out.
Yeah.
We both love to read. I think another thing we knew is like just having the same interest
Yes.
as somebody. Sorry, my brain's all jumbled a little bit now, but just having the same interest, I think, is a huge thing.
100.
And we have other things we're passionate about, but then can come together about reading, music, movies.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to be compatible with somebody or similar with somebody that likes the same things to do when you're unwinding for the day. Because I know some people don't really like movies or reading, you know?
For sure.
So it's like finding someone where you both can unwind the same way at the end of the day.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. So our love languages.
Pretty similar.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Yeah. I know knowing that in any relationship is important, but it's a bonus that ours are the same.
Which are 3, 2, 1.
Quality time. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say nothing. But yeah. So quality time, words of affirmation, depending on the situation.
Yeah, letting me know you care.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, touch as well.
Oh, yeah. Huge cuddlers over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of that is what makes us have this understanding that, not that we're made for each other, but like, I can't see myself like looking anywhere else, and I don't want to.
It's just not a thought.
No. Friendships, yeah. Meeting new people, yeah. But like romantically, I'm good.
That's what I thought. We also have like a pretty similar sense of humor. Like the same things make us laugh. That obviously is like, not like that's like keys to a good relationship, but that just helps. Like when you show something to someone that you think is funny and they also laugh, it's like, oh, nice. You know, I mean, I'm sure you've shown someone something that you thought was hilarious and they're like, oh, okay. And you're just standing there like, super awkward.
So our mic died.
Well, the battery handle
Yes.
for the Osmo, so then the mic wasn't transmitting.
And we're moving on to the next section, which I think is fun. I don't know if I caught this, but it's more of tips for you from each perspective, from a woman's perspective and a male's perspective. Yeah, you could be in a relationship, you could not. And keep this in the back of your noggin the next time you move forward in your life with your loved ones. So I have a notebook here. I'm going to read it off. My first one is give space for them to open up emotionally and meet that with understanding. And it takes a lot for men to open up. I think we all know that. Lending an open ear, that's another little one I have there, without judgment, and being their safe space so they feel comfortable opening up and being who they are. Because it takes a lot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Guys don't really like to talk about their feelings, so
shove them deep down.
Let it casually come out. Let them know, again, it is a safe place. And yeah, we try to encourage Andrew to talk up a bit more about certain things.
Sounds like I'm just like...
No, but because I feel like I ramble on sometimes, and I'm like, all right, now, like, how do you feel? Like, for real, like, tell me. And then it'll just come on out.
Yeah, because it does take a little bit of nudging for me to actually, like, say how I feel about things.
Another one I have is understanding what their childhood was like, so I can get an understanding of like why they're being the way they are in the present moment. Mm-hmm. And like if certain patterns are continuously coming up, like, oh, maybe that was from when this happened to you at this age, or like, you know what I mean?
Some psychology, pretty much. You know, it's just...
Instead of judging immediately, you're like, okay, I get it. Now let's move forward and let's see how we can work around this.
Understanding where we're coming from, you know?
Yeah, because we didn't know that in college. Yeah. Maybe that's where some fights stem from.
That wasn't even close to a thought. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And then my last one, or one of my last ones, I kind of mixed up a couple because the sun is going down, but let him have different interests and don't try to mold him. Yes, we have the same interest in reading and watching movies and music, but I think it's nice that I can go to my creative outlet and then he can find what sings to him.
I like to do. At least,
it makes us feel like separate humans as well.
Part of the like being together but still having our space.
Mm-hmm.
On to me. Yeah, so I guess some tips from a guy's perspective. It's kind of tough to hold it, isn't it? First one, this is like, you know, just generally for guys, because some stuff that like very, very recently I learned very recently. When she's venting about something or, just talking about something, just listen. You don't have to reply or try to give advice as much as we always want to. You just listen. Sometimes she just wants an ear, shoulder to cry on sort of thing. You don't need to have any input. Just be there to listen. It's similar to what Celeste was saying about just having an open ear and being there. Unless, of course, the conversation's about you, then probably say something back and have something to say. But, other than that, just actually be willing to listen.
Mm-hmm.
That's really...
I second that, because then you become like, it's almost like my verbal diary to you. Even if it's not about you, it feels like somebody's listening.
Exactly. And then another one is just understand that you're a guy and you're with a girl. She thinks about things way differently than you do. Like, you walk to the bedroom and then go to sleep, but she walks to the bedroom and then sees everything that needs to be cleaned or picked up on the way in. And no, that wasn't a joke, like, about women cleaning. It was literally saying, like, that's how their brains work sometimes, You're just like, oh, I'm going to make dinner. She's like, I'm going to make dinner, but while walking into the kitchen, I'm going to vacuum the floor because I saw some crumbs. And then, I just saw your laundry on the floor. I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. And you're like, wait, what about dinner? And she's like, oh, yeah, I forgot that too. So they're always thinking about way more than, we generally think of. We're like, there's beach, I go to beach. Just things are simpler for us. More of a straight line. For them, it's a little bit of a zigzag to, tie the knot on that ramble. So keep that in mind.
Maybe, maybe clean that dish you may clean. Okay. The sun is going down.
The last one was just like, get to know their love language if you don't. Because for guys, it's, if you're a guy, as I'm sure it's not something that's like, top of mind for you to be thinking about, but because it wasn't something that I thought about until Celeste brought it up. So just think about it. If you bring it up to them, they'll be like, oh, so there you go. Got you. So just, be aware of that. You guys can meet in the middle and, figure out how you can blend those together if they're different or if they're the same. So
how to love on each other.
Yep, exactly.
That was like snogging.
Yeah.
Not snogging.
An Eskimo kiss.
Is that all of you?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, nice.
We made it, and the sun's going down,
The sun is going down.
There's been mosquitoes biting us as well.
All right. We're back. This portion of the video is going to be a Q&A. I dropped a Q&A box on our Instagram. If you don't follow us on Instagram, I'll put a link here or down below. Yeah, let's get to these questions. I asked if basically the question was just anything about our relationship. If you guys had questions, there was a question that a lot of people asked us, and a lot of people always ask us when they see us. And I think the questions are on my phone, actually. Someone said they just wanted to know all the things, which I feel like we touched on in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of them is, how did traveling for so long impact our relationship?
I feel like right off the bat, just generally it made us closer. I mean, obviously it made us closer because we were in a smaller space, but it made us closer because, we realized things about each other that we wouldn't have realized before. Just learn more about each other in different ways, and I think some of it we probably explained earlier in the video. Just things that make us tick, maybe why we react to certain things a certain way, and just, really listening, because you have to spend so much time with each other. Like, you should really give each other the time to go through it.
Yeah.
Learn about it.
Again, yeah, I feel like it touches on that first thing about us being together. We feel alone, so it didn't have a negative impact on us. Everyone's always like, how do you live in such close quarters? But it's pretty easy for us.
Yeah.
I know that's not the case for everybody. I will say some tips and tricks is like journaling again, going into our own like headspace for a little bit, or even stepping outside of the van and stretching or going on our own hikes. But we don't get agitated enough to be like, oh my God, this tiny space is too much for us. Like it's
it's really.
But I think I think you're right though. We've learned so much about each other with the travels as well, and grown. We just keep growing as individuals. I would say that it's had a very positive effect on our relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think there's another question slightly similar. It's how do you guys thrive spending so much time together in the van?
Don't want to repeat answers like from stuff where we already talked about like how we managed to have our own space in such a small space, but I think really utilizing the space outside the van, going places where we can just go outside, like here for instance, and just do something else. Like we're sitting at the beach, but we still have the van, so it just takes us places where we have that extra space.
How do you guys thrive? Yeah, definitely extra space, being able to see beautiful places and talk about it.
That's a good point.
Later on. Trying new foods, trying new recipes, eating by beautiful scenery, seeing friends we haven't seen in a while across the United States.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too.
I feel like our community has grown even more, even though we're not rooted down anywhere. And yeah, I think it just lights us both up.
Yeah, it's just giving us more freedom.
Yeah, to live
quite
this way.
literally. Yeah.
Another one is, when's the wedding?
Interesting question. One we get, more often than not, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, if we hit the lottery very soon, it's just more of, I mean, we love each other and that's, what matters to us. But obviously we want to have a wedding, but we would want to do the kind of wedding that we would want to do, I guess, like anyone else. And we just don't really have the money to do that.
Yeah, it's not like we need that to solidify our love.
Yeah.
I think it's got so convoluted and it becoming almost like a business or a sign of like commitment. But I think you can tell the type of people we are that that's not like number one. I definitely do want to get married eventually, but like Andrew said, we realistically, I said that a little weird, we realistically would love it to be like on a property of our own. Everyone's barefoot. This is my dream. And we're all like planting, plants together and flowers, and it just feels like more of a community and celebration of love, not a sign of status.
Yeah.
Of like, we're doing this here, blah, 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 you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We just like, at the core of it all, we just want it to really represent our love. And that's free.
Yeah, I mean, just being free-spirited and being yourself.
Yeah, but I can't wait for the day. It'll be a nice little fairy hippie wedding.
Oh, yeah.
And then another last one, someone asked us if we're like back in Florida for good or if we're still traveling in the van.
Yeah, we're still traveling in the van. We live in it full time.
Yeah.
We don't have any other place to stay unless it's with family.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure everyone can attest. You can only do that for a certain amount of time. Sorry, family.
And I can't see us stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, no reason to currently.
There's still a lot of places I want to see.
Yep, and I like driving. The van's like not the most fun thing to drive, but it's
crazy.
I like driving, so.
I want to end this video by a quote in a movie, arguably one of the best movies, and the whole foundation of it and what they've come to terms with or trying to understand is this force that's love. It's Interstellar, the movie. So Brand, which is Matthew McConaughey's coworker, they're up in space. They're arguing about if they should go to a planet that possibly like a loved one of hers is on, or if they should just go to the one that they've been getting signals from Matt Damon from. So they think that would, Matthew McConaughey thinks that would make the most sense. Yeah. So she says, quote, "Love isn't something that we invented. It's observable, powerful. It has to mean something. Maybe it means something more, something we can't yet understand. Maybe it's some evidence, some artifact of a higher dimension that we can't consciously perceive. Love is the one thing that we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space.
Yep.
End quote. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this lovey season. I know it can be a lot, especially in America. It's very corporatalized.
I mean, it's just everyone's expected to buy stuff for people to show signs of love.
Mm-hmm.
Make something. Maybe like a,
Yeah.
I don't know, do some origami. What happened to origami?
Or just spend some time. Yeah, what did
Yeah.
happen to origami?
Yeah,
I would
just some
like to
quality
learn
time.
that.
If that's your love language.
Yeah.
You know, just do something like that. Go to a pottery class.
Yeah.
Make some homemade pasta.
Or if you're by yourself, show yourself some love. Have a
Yeah.
self-care day. Make yourself a bath, bubble bath with some wine. Or not wine, chocolate milk.
Ooh.
Giving you guys ideas out there.
Self-love.
Okay.
Love to each other.
Self-love. Love, 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 love.
Yep. That's what it's all about. Look at these people. Oh. Look at them. They love each other. Look at that.
Aw.
Watching the sunset. St. Pete. There it is.
Look at the sunset now.
Ka-chow.